What I'm going to talk about in this video is how you can maximize your business value. So when you do go to sell it in the future, you get the exit that you've been dreaming about. I'm Jamel Richards, and I've been running businesses for almost a decade now, growing a production company from ground zero to working with the likes of eBay, Skin and Me, Tinder, Trainline, and other household names, growing from nothing to over $500,000 in revenue, and managing a team of just myself and a co-founder to then managing a team of 7 people. So when you go to sell your business, this is how it happens. You're going to send thousands of emails to investors, and some of them are going to get back to you. You're going to pitch them in a meeting, and then one or a few of them are going to go, I'm actually really interested in this business. Now let's get down to talking about terms and how much this business is worth. And when you go to value your business, they're going to look at multiples from 2 areas. They're going to look at multiples of your revenue, and usually your recurring revenue, and multiples of your EBITDA profit, which is your bottom line profit. Now, it stands to reason if you have higher EBITDA or higher revenue, your business is going to be worth more. So yes, the prerogative is on you to try and increase that business value by selling more and making a more profitable business. But also when you do get to the conversation about valuation, a buyer will try to push down that multiple as much as possible based on the risks that they see in the business, because ultimately they are putting their money into a vehicle and hoping for growth so that they can get a return on their investment. And therefore, the key thing that's standing in their way is basically risk in terms of, will this business actually grow to where we think it will grow? So they'll first look at things like your customer data. So how many customers are you reliant on? What is the percentage of total revenue that comes from those customers? They might also look at your key supplier risks. Are there any suppliers that actually have control over your pricing, your ability to deliver your service? But the first port of call is usually key person risk. They're going to look at you as the founder. Is this business just founder-led sales? Is there more of an executive team that can carry the burden? And basically, if you aren't, for some reason, able to run this business, will this business continue on its path to growth? The reason why key person risk is so crucial to investors and therefore to you as business owners is, if you are for some reason unable to run the business, you want to make sure that your customers are still going to buy from you, but you also want to make sure that you can sign up new customers. If your client calls up your business for a very important project for them, a critical project for them, and they realize, oh, the founder's not available? Okay, cool. I'm just going to call this other company that I know. That is not the response that you want to have. You want the response to be, oh, the founder's not available? Okay, will he be able to drop in at any point during the project? Because they just have implicit trust that you're going to deliver on their project that is important to them. So what do you do about this now? The first thing you want to do is think about how you can systemize your business so you are not the core crux of everything. And that means having 5 to 7 executives spread across the business that can actually run it without you being there. Before you can hire people like that and expect them to succeed though, you as the founder need to have the utmost clarity on how your business acquires customers, how it keeps them, how it makes more money from them, and how it delivers on the work that it gets through them. So once you have those systems in place and the executives that you trust, it's over to relaxation time. See how it goes, take a 4-week break, see whether the business can actually run without you. And when you come back to it, I'm sure there are going to be some fires, hopefully some that the team have put out, some that will still be burning in a bin somewhere, and you're going to have to go and take your fire extinguisher and hose that out. But Jamel, you can't just throw up some process maps and expect your executive team to follow them and everything to be fine and dandy, right? No, you are right. Once you have your maps, you are going to need to delegate, which is really important. And this word again, delegate, I know. You've probably heard it many times and it's been touted as the most important thing to you as a manager and leader, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know, but it is very important. And I know that instant reaction because actually it's not as simple as it should be when you go to delegate something. And in my experience, that's just come down to having a lack of really core frameworks. So here are a couple of frameworks that I now use, which I find to be really effective and really clear to follow. Both of these frameworks come from Leila and Alex Hormozi, who are absolutely killing it when it comes to helping business owners grow. They have their own family office. and they really know their stuff. So I really trust their frameworks. I've tried them and they are useful. So the first framework is from Leila Hormozi, and it takes a spin on a matrix that you'll be very familiar with, which is Eisenhower's matrix. And what I found difficult about Eisenhower's matrix, which if you don't know about it, it's a matrix. So you have two axes, one going horizontally and one going vertically. And on the horizontal axis, you have urgency. And on the vertical axis, you have importance. So what Leila Hormozi does, which I find to be effective, because let's be honest, I run a small business and the client's response to timelines is always ASAP and quick turnaround. So urgency, I kind of just take that and just throw that in the bin. Instead, using Leila's framework is about classifying what requires high competence and low competence, and what is high importance and low importance. And I find that to be a lot more useful to me, because it's way easier to classify whether a task can be done by anyone or it requires really specific expertise. In your upper left quadrant, you're going to have things that require low competency but of high importance to the business. In this case, you want to be informed of the progress as that task is being carried out. So I'll give you an example. If direct marketing is really important to you, so face-to-face time with customers outside of the work environment is how deals get done, then you might need to organize a client dinner. And that's something that on the surface, you might say, hey, we cannot afford to get this wrong. The venue has to be right. The agenda has to be right. I need to make sure people are sitting in the right places, and I just can't trust this to anyone. So the coordination of this event is not something that requires a lot of competence, but it's very important to the business, because if this dinner goes well, it could be the difference between then getting a really big contract or not getting a big contract to apply for. So what you want to do here is make sure there are clear milestones in the project where you can be informed of the progress. And the person that you hand it to goes, here are the venues that we're going for, and here's an agenda I'm thinking about, and here is the guest list that is really important to have. You then have the opportunity to go, great venue, or nope, that venue is not right for us. Let's make sure these people are on the guest list, and actually let's make sure these things are in the agenda, and bear in mind this for the ordering. Then they can go away, come back at the next milestone. Okay, we're approving these things, we're booking them in, we're paying for them, cool. And that way you can get a project which is aligned to the outcome you need, which is really important, but again, requires low competency. Now in the bottom left quadrant, I'm not gonna spend much time here. This is the done or deleted quadrant. This is where something requires low competency to complete and is not very important to the business. The example Leila gives, perfect, which is taking the trash out. Let's be real, you might be particular, but it's not gonna magically double or triple your profit line, so it really doesn't matter. Then in your bottom right quadrant, you have things that require high competency and are of relatively low importance. So you could look at something like doing your monthly P&L statement. It's important that you understand where the business finances are, so you can use it for decision making, but actually making more money for the business is more important than doing the P&L statement. So you just want to be informed once the thing is done, once the P&L is created, you want the opportunity to look at the results and then feedback from there. In the upper right quadrant, you have something that requires high competency and is also of high importance to the business. So what do you do about these things? You do them yourself, because this I call the founder zone. This is where you should be spending most of your time, and it's those things that the 80-20 rule applies to. So things like your flagship podcast that gets most of the viewers that come to you, that needs to be done by you. The acquiring of a business that grows the value of your business, but there's the potential for many things to go wrong, that has to be done by you. Signing major agreements, that has to be done by you. These things are your bread and butter, and everything else around it could probably be delegated. So I want to challenge you by doing this. Take a few tasks from the two key systems of your business, which is your growth system, how you acquire customers, and your delivery system, how you fulfill the work that you have just sold, and try it. Take this matrix, take some sticky notes, write the key functions or tasks, and paste them in the right quadrants. And then you can see how full your founder zone is, and you can see, oh, am I actually only focusing all of my energy on these tasks, or am I also getting distracted by these other tasks that should be deleted or delegated to someone to keep me in the loop or something like that? Hey, so quick one. If you want to join a founder community where people are like-minded and you can share your progress with them and they can keep you accountable, I have a WhatsApp community just for this. We'll be doing quarterly challenges and regular live streams. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the link in the description and I will grant you a 14-day free trial. I hope to see you there. Okay, back to the video. The second framework is by Leila Hormozi, and I find it to be very simple and very clear. And that is his 3D framework for delegation. And the 3Ds are document, demonstrate, duplicate. Very easy to remember and kind of self-explanatory, but I'll quickly go through them. Document, you create a checklist step by step of how you accomplish this task. Demonstrate, you take the person that you're going to delegate the task to and you take them through the checklist, not changing anything, just take them through step by step what you do. And duplicate is literally just that same person going through the checklist with you there step by step. So you now have the opportunity to feedback or add best practices, but also it then feels like you have just successfully airdropped the file. So those are the frameworks. I hope they are useful to you. I hope you've got value from this video. So now you know a key factor to your business valuation is risk. And we've covered off key person risk here. So if you can reduce key person risk, you can increase your enterprise value. If you want more content on how you can maximize your business or how you can turn your business into a sellable asset, then subscribe here. I'll be sharing more content on this. Please leave a comment and tell me what you found useful. Any questions you have, drop them below and leave a like on the videos so more founders can discover this content. Okay, so that's it. I'll see you next time. I'll catch you later.